Good morning, my beautiful friends. This is your wake up call with Maui Paul. I'm Maui Paul, and we are here today to say some nice things about ourselves. It is a beautiful day, and we are getting ready to just be awesome in it. And one of the ways that we do that is simply by really by changing our internal monologue, by changing our internal monologue such that we are really affirming what is true about us. And we do that by working with some affirmations in my deck of I am cards. So we're going to play around with one of those today. I'm going to ask you if you are the affirmation on the deck. You're going to respond, I am the affirmation on the deck. And then we are going to work through that affirmation together. So let's begin by saying that today, I am abundant. I am abundant. I appreciate the richness of my experience. So I am abundant. I appreciate the richness of my experience. Are you abundant? You are abundant. You appreciate the richness of your experience. I'm going to write that down in the chat. As I do write that down in the chat, I'm going to make it more real. And I know that you are also going to make it more real simply by putting it out there into the world. Good morning there, Brenda Jean. I see that you are an abundant person, and yeah. So as we write these things down in chat, we are we are just manifesting them into this material plane. We are taking it from being a thought form into being something that's more real. And it's just so important to do it. Hey there, good morning there, Donna. I see that you are there. Good morning, Britta Jean. Uh, I see that you guys are here, and I affirm that you are indeed abundant today. The fact is that the abundance is not about the amount of money that we have. It's not about the amount of stuff that we have. Abundance is about recognizing what we have and recognizing that we have a tremendous amount. So I am indeed abundant today, and you are abundant too. And I remember one of the first times that I ever really came into an understanding of my own abundance. I was down in Costa Rica. I had been living there for a couple years, and my bank card expired. Now, normally your bank card expiring is not a big deal, but the way that my bank card was my lifeline to the money that I had, and so whenever I needed money, I'd just go down to the local ATM and go and put my bank card in there and get some money. And there was about a 3-week period in which I had no access to money at all. So I had a little bit of savings, or I had a little bit of money lying around, but at that time in my life, I wasn't exactly the biggest planner. And so I just go to put my bank card in there because I need money to do something or other, and it's expired, and so it's not working. So I call up my bank and I'm like, "Hey, I got a problem. My bank card's expired and I need some cash." And they said, "Oh, just walk into your local branch, whatever your closest branch is." I said, "Well, my closest branch is 4,000 miles north of me." And this was long before the time where you could just like service this stuff on the internet. And so I was definitely in a bit of a pickle. So I had them send a bank card to my registered address, which was happened to be my parents' house in Pennsylvania. And 2 weeks later, or about a week later, the bank card comes in, and then my mom sends it down to me. But for about 3 weeks, I did not have any access to money whatsoever. And it was in that moment that I realized how abundant I really was, because even though I didn't have any access to money, I still was able to live a comfortable life down in Costa Rica because I had friends and because I had lots of resources that I just wasn't using. I hadn't been using them because it was easier for me to just go pull money out of the bank to solve problems than it was to solve problems with the resources that I already had. I attended a business conference once, and we were talking about resources in business. And the speaker said that the greatest resource is resourcefulness, is understanding what we have and knowing how to use it. And that really hit home for me as I was basically stranded in Central America without any access to money. I started to draw on the other resources that I had, and I recognized that I wasn't, I wasn't starving. I wasn't having any real problems as a result of not having money. I just opened up my fridge and it was full of food, so I started eating the food that was already in my fridge instead of going down to restaurants. And I started to, like I. It's not that other people were putting gas in my tank. It's just that I realized that I had this whole public transportation system that I had never considered before that turns out is incredibly efficient in Central America. I actually moved all through Central America on the bus system, and I never would have done that had if I hadn't been forced to learn how the bus system worked because I could afford the bus system and I couldn't afford to put gas in my truck or diesel in my truck for that 3-week period. So abundance is not about having a tremendous amount of material stuff. Abundance is about recognizing and appreciating the richness that we already have, the richness of our experience, the friends that we have, the love that we have. The stuff is is what's marketed to us as abundance, but the truth is that abundance is about experience, and we can be incredibly wealthy. I mean, I have in my path, I have definitely run into some folks who were incredibly wealthy and had nothing, incredibly wealthy but didn't appreciate any of the wealth that they had. And I remember thinking at the time that, man, if I had 1% of what these people had, I would appreciate it. And here they are with 100% of what they have, and they don't appreciate it at all. So abundance is a mindset. Abundance is about our experience. It is not about what we actually have. So, one of the greatest resources is resourcefulness, to know what we have. And so, this card today invites us to consider what we have, to consider the resources that we have available to us, and to operate with these resources, to use them, to appreciate them, and to really love what we have, who we are, and who we're with. So, thank you guys so much for coming out. One of the ways that I'm abundant is that I have folks who are watching this live, and that's an abundance thing for me. I really appreciate how you guys are willing to come out here every morning, 9 a.m. Eastern time on Monday through Friday, and actually come and enjoy this morning ritual with me. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate you guys. And if you need to have a particular affirmation, I have them archived on my YouTube channel. So until then, I want to say appreciate you guys for coming by, and aloha from paradise.